Hello, GotAUkulele.com back with another instrument review for you. They're coming thick and fast now. First things first, ukulele t-shirt time. Obviously, if you're a ukulele beginner, I really like that you're on my site, GotAUkulele, but GotAUkulele is not a tuition site. If you're looking for a good tuition site with good videos, big hello to my friends at the wonderful Ukulele Underground site. Really got to have that in your bookmarks. Right, review time, new brand for me. It is an Ibanez UKS 10 Soprano ukulele. Regular viewers of these videos, readers of my reviews will know I'm normally down on what I call the guitar maker's ukulele. That is to say, guitar brands like Fender, like Epiphone, who make ukuleles kind of to jump on the bandwagon. They think, oh, it's cheap and it's easy, everyone's into ukuleles, we'll make one. And they're usually pretty rotten because they tend to be overbuilt, or they tend to be done on the cheap, or they tend to miss what a ukulele is about. Ibanez, very well respected electric guitar maker in the rock guitar world, less so respected for their acoustic instruments, and this is their Ibanez ukulele, their entry level UKS 10. It's made from all laminate woods. Some confusion on the product listings. Some sites say that it's sapele, some say it's mahogany. They're very similar, but they're not the same thing. But anyway, it's a laminate, so it's only the outer veneer, which is the wood. So looks like mahogany to me, kind of orangey, kind of stripy. Single piece top, two piece sides, and a two-piece back, which is completely dead flat. All finished in a satin open poured coat, which is really nice. It's nicely put together, no splits, no gaps, no issues. Looking at the edge of the sound hole on this one, it's also really thin. That's really nice to see, because usually laminate ukuleles are thick, chunky plywood. They've got no depth, they've got no sound, they've got no projection. This is resonant. This surprised me for a guitar maker's ukulele. They're usually overbuilt, nice and thin, nice and springy, nice and snappy. No complaints so far. We've got a sort of tailor-shaped slotted bridge there. It's quite interesting, quite like that. Screwed in place, made of rosewood, with a new bone compensated saddle. As you can see, the wave on the compensation there for the intonation. Pretty nice. Looking inside, pretty neat and tidy, notched kerfing as you can see, although I think the braces are a little over chunky on this one. There's no need for them to be that thick. Saying that, it's not heavy. Up to the neck, this is made of mahogany. It's quite a chunky C-shaped profile, but quite narrow at the nut at 34mm. It's made of three pieces with a joint at the heel and a hidden joint at the headstock. Topping that, really nice condition, dark coloured rosewood fingerboard. And a generous number of frets. We've got 17 and 12 to the body. Most sopranos tend to come with just 12. Nice to see those extra frets, like that a lot. We've got pearloid inlaid position markers at 5, 7, 10, 12 and 15. Double spot at the 12th, and they are thankfully repeated on the sides. No complaints there. The frets are nickel silver. Sadly, the edges are sharp. You can probably hear that. They need dressing down. That's not really very good. The fret edges are also not hidden, and they're kind of stained over the top. They look a bit ugly. Past the new bone nut. Interesting shaped headstock. Nice to see something different. Really cheap looking screen printed Ibanez logo there in gold. I think that looks cheap and nasty. It's a soprano. I'd rather see friction tuners. We've got geared pegs. They're unbranded, decorated, and in chrome, but at least the buttons are small and they work all right. Completing the deal for this one, you get this next to useless gig bag. It's so thin. It would only really protect the ukulele from dust and some very minor scratches. And the strings. Now, regular viewers of these videos should know that I don't mark ukuleles down for strings on the assumption that they come with half decent strings to start with. The reason being, most players will swap them out for what they like. But when a ukulele comes with strings which are so bad, I can't avoid to comment on it. These are so bad. These are those black nylon slippy strings that I thought had been consigned to the dustbin of history. Even really cheap Chinese laminate instruments coming over for next to no money these days are coming with Aquila strings. You will want to change the strings on this. These are dreadful. Yeah, it probably is going to sound better with better strings, but bear in mind that's an extra cost. And I'll come on to the price because these are listed for about between 70 and 75 pounds. So not an ultra cheap beginner ukulele, cheap in ukulele terms, but not ultra cheap, and throwing it right in there with some competition from the likes of Carla and Baton Rouge. When you consider that if you pay 75 quid for this and then pay another £7 for a pack of decent strings like Aquilas, you're into 80 quid plus territory for the ukulele. And I think that's getting too expensive. Other than that, though, as I say, resonant, snappy body, nicely balanced. Don't like those sharp fret edges, but otherwise it's comfortable to hold, and it's got a really nice sort of typical soprano volume punch. In fact, I might even need to just nudge this volume down a little bit so we don't blow the video, but there we are. Now, setup. The saddle on this one is too high and it needs to come down. That's an easy job. The action at the nut is too high and needs to come down, and that is affecting the intonation playability. For a beginner, that's going to cost you money to get fixed, or you're going to have to learn how to do it yourself, and it's quite a fiddly job, so it's not good. And that together with these horrible black strings is going to throw the intonation out. I stress, some people say that I deliberately put ukuleles out of tune for my videos. I don't. I've tuned this one with a very good high quality strobe tuner. It's in tune at the nut, bang on, as accurate as I can get it. But when I play it, you'll hear it go slightly out of tune. That's intonation. So let's play the normal things. Tune, it's because the nut's too high and the strings are horrible. It sounds like a soprano. I like the punch and the snap that it's got. It certainly would sound better with better strings, but as it comes out of the box, it's not nice. Remember, don't please comment saying, well, you could have put it in tune. It is in tune. It's playing out of tune because the setup is wrong and those strings are horrible. So there's the thing, really. I thought I would dislike this a lot more than I do. It's not a great guitar maker's ukulele. It's not a terrible one, though, compared to some that I've played. It could be made better. Decent strings and a setup, I have no doubt. This is a resonant box of a ukulele. It's all right, but that's going to cost you more money. So if you're then into £80 territory for this, bear in mind for £60 you can get something like a Carla KA15S or a Baton Rouge V1, laminate body, Aquila strings, decent setup, will sound as good as this, and it's going to be about 20 quid cheaper. So why would you buy this? The price is all wrong. Far too expensive for what it is. If you're going to charge that kind of money, Ibanez, you really need to get better strings on here, better quality control, make sure the setup is okay. Close but no cigar, I'm afraid. With some setup, if you've got one of these, you'll probably get it playing okay. But I wouldn't recommend it, not when you can buy something like a Carla for 20 quid less, that's going to have decent strings on it, and you're just good to go. The Ibanez UKS 10 laminate bodied soprano, not recommended from me, I'm afraid. Keep tuned to GotAUkulele, more instrument reviews coming soon. I think we've got stuff on the bench now running well into May this year, so lots more to come. See you very soon. Take care.